All right, friends, welcome to this Wednesday product showcase where we have a very, very special esteemed guest here. We're going to talk about our latest hero product launch, our mushroom melts. Boy, oh boy, not only are we selling crazy amounts of these, the testimonials you're going to hear towards the end today have been absolutely enthralling. Let me just leave it at that. Okay, first of all, we have got this guy right here, Dr. Stuart Titus, legendary formulator. Guy's got a brilliant mind, but as many of you found firsthand in Dallas at our official pre-launch event, he's the real deal. Great guy, very personable, very passionate. So Dr. Stuart, I just wanted to start off. You've been to a lot of events in your history, in your career. Tell us, give us some honest feedback. What do you think about the energy, the people, the atmosphere of the room last Saturday in Dallas?
Well, I certainly loved at the time there. It was great to be with everybody. Right from when I got in Friday afternoon, it was wonderful to be received so well by friends and colleagues, others who were there attending. Some of them were able to recognize me just as I was walking in, and we got right down to conversation, and that just didn't seem to stop. It was really a great event. Certainly, the enthusiasm carried through the full day. There were no lulls, if you will. I mean, the energy was just high. The wonderful assortment of speakers, wonderful. I mean, the gals who were there, my gosh, I was extremely impressed with their presentations. Really good, spot on, wonderful information, and certainly I was glad to be able to contribute my little portion about it.
Yeah, you are phenomenal, man. And friends, in your digital office, you will see under resources, documents, and media, we have a whole section right towards the top there of our mushroom melts. There's slide decks, there's videos. There's another video coming Dr. Stu's working on with us that's going to be fantastic. So it'll have all this information here. And Dr. Stu, what I want to do is I want to start off this way, right? Why functional mushrooms? And you've kind of been this pioneer, right? I mean, you even back to the superfoods, the super antioxidants, we're talking about this, but then, into the hemp, the cannabinoids world, you were a kind of a front runner there. We saw how massive and widely adopted that is and continues to be. But let's talk about functional mushrooms, and let's make sure we're getting a lot of questions. Are these psychedelic? Are these going to do something weird to me? And the answer is always no. Can you just kind of talk about, the trend here and where you see us going with premium functional mushroom for human consumption?
For sure, Eric, a great question to start. And certainly mushrooms are now becoming much more popular among individuals. Of course, there's, like you mentioned, the pharmaceutical side on the psychedelic mushrooms, which certainly they're raising a great amount of money and capital to try to make a product that could be US FDA approved. Their early studies show fantastic benefit, things such as depression, especially wonderful research on PTSD. My gosh, the recent study by a group called Lycos Therapeutics, 61% of the individuals who were in the study come out of the study with no longer having a PTSD diagnosis. So that's just absolutely off the charts to have that type of a success rate. Functional mushrooms, yes, ever since COVID and the COVID era, really people have been looking for ways to naturally boost their body's immune system and immune defenses. And many have then gone back and done the research that, yes, these functional mushrooms have been part of traditional Chinese medicine for centuries, and dating back well before the birth of Christ, and it's well documented some of the fantastic uses and benefits. And as study and research has gone on over, say, the past 40, 50 years or so, more and more points to these fungal species, these mushrooms, as having great benefits for overall health and wellness. So they're wonderful compounds and components within that just naturally boost the body's immune system. Most of these are the polysaccharides, the very long chain sugars. There are certain types of sugars which can be harmful. You know, your refined white sugar, if you will, a very simple sugar, and that refined product certainly has got possibility of, I mean, if we really were looking at it today and just restarting the whole thing about scheduling drugs and that sort of thing, the one that would be the number one federally controlled substance with no medicinal use would be your white table sugar, because it's incredibly addicting. It doesn't do anything for you, but certainly, unfortunately, gets in the way of the normal digestive processes. It robs calcium from bones, and certainly can be quite harmful. But on the other side of the fence, you have these complex sugars, these very long chain polysaccharides, things such as alpha and beta glucans, which do help support the body's immune function, and certainly the production of white blood cells and interferons, et cetera, all big parts of the body's immune system. So right there, those are great reasons to use mushrooms, particularly your functional mushrooms, than your normal dietary intake. And there's the dietary fiber, which certainly people with high intake of dietary fiber, much lower risk of heart disease, cardiovascular events, et cetera. So right from there, there are great benefits just coming right off the bat.
Love it. Yeah. So, Stuart, obviously, this is a topic that so many people are passionate about. You know, my own mom, you know, she saw both her parents suffer from dementia, that kind of that baby boomer age group. This has been a hot topic for quite a while. And it seems like kind of a hot topic that time has come to get really out into the spotlight for, you know, some possible remedies like what we're offering here. And we also obviously have a lot of entrepreneurs on here. I'm a big believer that trends are our friends. Now, it's somewhat easy to go on Google or Statistica, some of the websites. You can see how big is the skincare industry? How big is the weight loss industry? How big is the travel industry? Online learning. But what was fascinating to me when I was trying to put our slides together, it's almost not even quantifiable. If you want to talk about procognition, if you want to talk about dementia, memory care, mental acuity, can you just talk about, you know, kind of the trends as you see it in the years ahead in these areas?
Well, many of us, like myself, an aging baby boomer, if you will, we're getting to that time in life when, yes, things start to slow down a little bit. We certainly maybe aren't as sharp mentally. Maybe we're moving into a semi-retired situation, and we don't have all the activity of a normal daily work routine, which keeps us engaged. I mean, certainly when I was a bond trader back on Wall Street in my 20s and early 30s, I was very sharp and alert mentally all the time. There were challenges during a normal trading day on Wall Street that kept you sharp and use your mind, so to speak. And in some ways, mind is like a muscle. You kind of use it or lose it, and it does tend to unfortunately catch up with us over time. And then you got all the other environmental factors, foods that are processed and the rest that all tend to create a lot of toxins, particularly in the brain. And I was very fortunate to be able to study a lot of this with my CBD career, where we were treating a lot of young children with developmental learning disabilities, things such as epilepsy, which would prevent them from normally communicating with their parents, and other typical developmental issues that they were suffering with, things such as autism, et cetera. But it was very interesting to see a course of CBD therapy, which is more of what you might call a neuroprotectant, certainly did seem to not only reduce seizures, but also improve the child's ability to communicate with the parents, their appetite, feeding, social behaviors, et cetera. So there was great quality of life benefit. But then taking that further into looking at, okay, now we've got this neuroprotection, but how do we tend to regenerate nerve and neurological pathways? Well, this brought us into the functional mushroom side, and particularly the lion's mane, particularly two of the active diterpenes called herenosones and arenosines are implicated in this stem cell-like process, where they stimulate what's called nerve growth factor as well as brain-derived neurotropic factor, a couple of neurotransmitters that again are involved in the creation of new healthy brain cells, new neurological pathways, and generally improve people's overall levels of memory, cognition, etc. This has been shown not only with the elderly, but also with college students, just cramming for college exams and the rest. Certainly the lion's mane does seem to help improve their memory, cognition, and some of their scores, if you will. So certainly there's an application over a wide range. It'd be really interesting, of course, to do more formal study and research with youngsters who, again, these developmental challenges, autism, etc. But certainly it's great food, great nutrition for us. And I couldn't be more excited to be pioneering this new avenue and concept of a natural product to be able to potentially help these individuals to regain some of the lost function that they may have suffered over the years.
Love it. Yeah, it's inspiring. And speaking of pioneers, Randy Schrader, who just was the first in our company to achieve regional affiliate. Great job, Randy. He's really leading the charge here. We have a template now in our digital office to have anti-aging and pro-cognition parties or tastings. And what is Stellamere, we talked about this before we started, has been phenomenally well received. In fact, the vast majority of people who've been in 2 months or longer that ordered one individual bottle have reordered a second bottle. That's always a good sign. But, when it comes to the gummies, it really is an experience, right? It tastes good. I'm going to give you my personal testimony that you can piggyback off of. It's almost like first thing in the morning, I take my combo gummies and almost within 15 minutes, almost like a warming sensation. I'm not functioning on much sleep. Thank you, Team Asia, for that. And you just kind of want this warming sensation. You almost, the mental clarity just kind of opens up. Can you talk about what a typical experience might be for people who are just starting out on our melts?
Yeah, so I'm more than glad to discuss some of this. Certainly, there are many other mushroom products on the marketplace, but I believe with our unique extraction technology, we're able to capture more of these active ingredients, which do have the overall long-term effects. But not only a long-term effect, but it's generally something that can be felt very immediately by users. And yourself, you mentioned your experience. So I certainly feel, I take one of the lion's mane gummies first thing in the morning, and that really gets me in good solid work mode right from the get-go. I'm usually a little bit slow starter in the mornings, but boy, when I have that lion's mane gummy, it just really kicks in another gear, so to speak. So I've been very happy in putting that into my normal routine. And yes, so it does tend to clear up some of the, what you might call brain fog, if you will. We believe this is helping with a slightly detoxifying process within the brain that will then allow for better communication along the nerve and neurological pathways. So that's, I believe, part of the wonderful benefit that people are getting when they start to experience the lion's mane product in particular in the mornings.
Love it. Yeah. So just a couple more questions, and we're going to bring on some testimonials here. So we obviously, our customer service, me, it's like, Eric, what should I get? Should I get the cordyceps? Should I get the lion's mane, or should I get the combo? Can you just talk quickly about cordyceps and then lion's mane?
Yes, certainly. The cordyceps product, another fantastic one that's been well studied and researched really ever since the 1993 Olympic Games, when the female Chinese runners set all kind of world records in terms of their performance. And this was attributed to a high concentration diet involving cordyceps and cordyceps extract, which were brought in especially from the Himalayan mountain regions where they do tend to naturally grow. So this new food product, a new supplement product, really did capture the attention. In fact, there were a lot of other countries who thought that they're all taking steroids, and they subject these Chinese runners to massive amounts of drug testing. And it turned out there were no steroids, and there was no issue with drug testing or banned substances. They were just on this interesting new cordyceps diet and routine. So the cordyceps generally will provide more energy and stamina for the body. Certainly, if you're an athlete, you might really notice this. And it will improve the blood flow and circulation as well. So some have actually called it the Himalayan Viagra, if you will. It's quite an interesting concept, but certainly cordyceps is used quite a lot by athletes and those seeking that extra a little bit of energy and physical performance. You have very active ingredients, what are called cordycepin, very technically adenosine, as well as tryptophan. Cordycepin is very similar to the adenosine molecule, which you'll find both in the cordyceps product. Adenosine is part of adenosine triphosphate, ATP. We might all remember from our high school biology that ATP is the fuel that the body burns, that the mitochondria will absorb oxygen from the respiration process and convert that into ATP energy. And the ATP energy reserves are what give us our energy, boost, vitality, and stamina to function throughout the day. So certainly very important there. And then the other active ingredient, tryptophan, a wonderful amino acid that's filled with body boosting processes that help rebuild new healthy muscle, nerve, neurological pathway, et cetera. So certainly a wonderful product in the cordyceps extract that we've now come up with. And again, our extraction technology releases more of these active compounds into the solution, which is now transferred into our gummy product. And so you'll probably feel a little bit more with our product than you might with one that you just buy at the store. That's a cordyceps powder, for example.
I love it. So Dr. Sue, so you take lion's mane kind of in the morning.
That's my routine. Yes. Mm-hmm.
And then do you take another in the afternoon typically? What's a typical day regimen like for you?
Yeah, so I'll take lion's mane first thing in the morning. I'll generally around noontime take a cordyceps, and then a little bit later in the afternoon, 2, 3 o'clock, I'll probably pop another cordyceps, and that's my routine now. We're just starting to come out with a reishi product, which is another wonderful product that eventually we will have, and that's a nice sleep relaxation aid. So I'll take that before bed at night.
Okay. Stay tuned on that one, friends. So let's go over a couple. We get a lot of questions about kids, okay, especially kids that maybe have ADHD, some anxiety issues, depression issues. You alluded to this earlier. This product is safe for kids, number one, correct?
Yes, the product is safe for kids. It's a normal, food product that, you might find a similar mushroom on the grocery store shelf, that sort of thing. And there's great nutrition in it. So yes, it's a safe product for children as well as adults.
Should they do a half a serving first, or can they do the full thing? What's your recommendation?
I would generally recommend a half serving. You can just cut the gummy right in half and give it to the child. Technically, medicine, we might dose it more according to body weight, et cetera. But generally, a half serving would work just fine for the youngster.
Love it. Okay, how about women that are pregnant and or nursing?
Right. Well, it has not been a lot of study done at the FDA level for them to approve or disapprove, but it's been interesting. I've seen some birth centers actually respond very favorably to cordyceps and for the functional mushrooms in general, because again, the immune boosting capabilities, many times the mushrooms tend to be calming and relaxing. Certainly, this can help improve the quality of milk or the amount of milk that can be provided to the child if one is going to be breastfeeding, et cetera. So it does seem that there is at least anecdotal testimony that these products are safe, and some birth centers do actually recommend adding functional mushrooms or mushrooms in with the normal dietary intake for the pregnant mom.
Great, great. And then a final one, kind of lumping these together. Okay, could there be any potential benefits for those that suffer from epilepsy, heart disease, kidney disease, liver disease, or hold on here, neuropathy?
Right. Yes. Well, certainly in terms of young children with epilepsy and potentially autism, generally, I would like to believe the stem cell-like process where they can help develop brain cells, neurological pathways, improve the communication network, the communication system within us, so that they can start to function maybe a little bit more normally and naturally, not have these either violent mood swings, the ups and downs, and certainly keep them on a more even keel, I think is quite beneficial. Again, a lot of the study again showing the regeneration of some of these brain nerve cells, and many of these young children are just developmentally challenged. They're not able to recite the alphabet, the ABCs, learn math, that sort of thing. But as we've seen with CBD, and particularly now when some of these youngsters start to add some of the functional mushrooms, it does seem this improves their developmental characteristics and allows for at least better communication. And certainly that's something to look at in terms of study and research, but to improve those neurological pathways, the connections that exist certainly are going to have some great benefit there. Now, in terms of the elderly with things such as neuropathy and other conditions, heart disease, cardiovascular, et cetera, yeah, there's great benefit that has been shown by clinical study and research that the mushrooms will have that wonderful effect. Just even the simple dietary fiber will certainly help with that. And then there have also been nice studies showing the benefits for both the liver as well as kidneys. So they're very strong protective compounds within these functional mushrooms that do help improve the functioning of both liver as well as kidney, and then even does help to strengthen the bone structure of the human body as well.
Love it. Okay, almost done. Don't worry what you're doing. Everybody wants more, Dr. Stu here. So obviously, we'd always encourage people consult a doctor, physician, but to the best of your knowledge, there's no health conditions that would or may prevent people from trying our gummy melts.
Probably the biggest issue might be that these functional mushrooms tend to be natural blood thinners. Many individuals are on blood thinning medications, and you don't want the blood to get too thin because then if you happen to accidentally cut yourself or something, you can have difficulty in clotting. And that's only a real issue. Many people like to do more natural products than the pharmaceutical meds. It could be possible. We've certainly seen anecdotally over the years, many people have weaned themselves off of pharmaceutical meds and gone into more natural blood thinning type compounds and adding various things to their diets. So certainly it's very possible to do it with the functional mushrooms as well. But I think the real contraindication just might be the blood thinners would be the biggest one that I see. That, I mean, this is basically a food that's been around for centuries and something natural to the human body. Of course, we have extracts, so we've concentrated some of the beneficial nutrients that are in there, but generally adding these nutrients and this good food to the body just improves the overall levels of nutrition.
Love it. Well, hey, an approach that's working really well for our community is not trying to turn into Dr. Stuart overnight, certainly not trying to be a medical doctor, give medical advice, but what works really well is like, hey, try it for a month, give this a month. And on that note, I mean, it's just human nature to say, oh, cordyceps, I see that down at my GNC or health food store in a powder form or a capsule form, or I've seen lion's mane before. But often, as I've learned the hard way, you kind of get what you pay for. Could you just touch at a high level on the extraction process, what really makes this bioactively readily available for human consumption for the maximum benefits?
Sure, I'd love to speak on that maybe just a little bit. Certainly there's a way that people would grow these functional mushrooms, and many times you have a cultivator who will have a base or a substrate. They'll either have sterilized soil, or they might grow the mushroom on oats or old piece of wood, if you will. And then from this mycelium, if you will, the underground kind of network, eventually, the spores from the mushroom will then provide or produce a what called a fruiting body. So if you're out looking on a lawn or just in nature, you might see the mushroom sticking up out of the ground. Well, that is the fruiting body part that the spores will eventually produce. Now, many manufacturers will provide a powder product which contains a little bit of fruiting body and maybe a lot of this mycelium, the substrate that it's being grown under, the sterilized soil, which will have the spores, or the oats and that sort of thing. So you're really getting a lot of fillers and all that, and just a very minimal amount of the fruiting bodies. Well, the one thing that we do first before we even start is just using nothing but the fruiting bodies itself. And so you're already starting with better compound to begin with, and then the extraction process takes out all the beneficial nutrients from the fruiting body itself, where they really are, and that is what basically we utilize to provide our products. So we really think we're getting several times what you normally would get. Say if you got a certain amount of our product versus a certain amount of the powder product from the grocery store or what have you, you're going to get many times greater in terms of the active ingredients. And these are the ones that really provide the secret sauce, if you will. That's the magic that makes these functional mushrooms really work. So I think
I'm
that
living
is
proof of that.
really providing the effect that people can feel versus what they get when they don't really, okay, if I take the powder from the local grocery store, maybe I'm doing something, maybe it's doing something good for them, but I don't really feel it. Here, people tend to really experience a nice benefit right from the very start. And there's some interesting testimonies, people just with a very quick, 5-minute type of thing, blood sugar levels come back down to a more normal level from spiking and things like that. It's been fantastic to really see how quickly these will affect the body.
Oh, we saw that in Dallas. A few people came up and it was incredible within, 30 minutes what happened to their blood sugar count, wasn't it?
It really was. There was one lady in particular. My gosh, what a fantastic testimony! I think you got a picture. I was fortunate to get a picture of her somewhere, and wow, just an amazing story, and just love. Well, I just love being with the people because you hear their stories or anecdotal. We've been using a product for a while, and you get some feedback and that sort of thing. I didn't expect to find so many great stories in such a short period of time with the mushrooms, but sure enough, there were a few that were quite remarkable.
Well, let's hear some more testimonials. We'll keep Dr. Stu on if he'll stay with us. Put your hand in the air if you or somebody you care about has already had a positive experience with the melts. Go ahead and put your hand in the air. I'm going to bring you in here. And let's see. I know. Okay. Donna, you out there? Bring a few people in. All right. Well, it's funny, Dr. Stu, because I am one of those guys that it was about a year ago. Lion's mane was kind of in the news, and I went to a health food store, bought a container, and I really just felt like I was throwing my money away. Maybe it was doing something. It wasn't. It was night and day compared to, what I experience on our melt. So I am one of those guys that has gone through that racket, if you want to call it that. Okay, let's get a few people in here. I've promoted some of you to panelists. Come on in. Ina, are you there? We'd love to hear some testimonials from some of our members firsthand here. I got Ina, I got Kim, we got Donna. Okay. Donna Rainey, can you unmute yourself and turn your camera on and join us?
Hey, can you hear me?
Hey, Donna, we hear you loud and clear. Love to hear what the product's done for you and others.
Okay, I'm getting stopped because I'm in my car. So let me get stopped real quick so I will keep everybody safe.
Safety first.
Okay, all right, I'm here. Can you see me now?
We see you. Hi.
Okay, awesome. Hi. Hey, Dr. Stu.
Hi there, how's everything?
Great, thank you. It's a beautiful day in Texas. It's 73 degrees, which is unusual for us. But we've had some amazing results already. My husband and I just feel good. We love that, and that's awesome. But my 88-year-old mother-in-law lives next door in our cottage, and she has wet macular degeneration, which is, the worst kind. So she can't see very well, especially close up. So we do all of her meal prep and kind of anything that she has to do to see close up. And so right after we got the samples, I took her, because I love her, so I shared some of the combo gummy with her, and she liked it and everything. And I made sure, because she's elderly and she doesn't really have dementia. She has intermittent dementia, which, is different things. If she doesn't sleep well enough, she might kind of be confused or whatever. But she started getting results right away. And now every morning she makes her own coffee. She pours her coffee, and she kind of has been doing it before we got over there. And so, and she's pretty proud of it. She is, doing laundry. She just seems like she feels better. So I'm not making any medical claims at all whatsoever, but I'm just saying she's 88. She doesn't know really. I mean, she just thankfully trusts us, to give her things that are going to help her. And we're seeing differences in her. She's heating up her own lunch, which we prepare ahead of time. But I asked her, she said, "Are you sure we have enough of these things?" And I said, "Yeah, we do." And she said, "Can anybody get these?" And I said, "Yeah, well, yeah, now that we're starting to spread the word." And she said, "But we'll have enough." And I said, "Yes, we will." And I said, "Well, do you like them?" And she said, "Yeah, I love them." So she likes how they taste. She can tell she's feeling better. She's sleeping better. We're not giving her melatonin anymore, which was making her wake up in the middle of the night anyway. So we're just seeing a huge improvement. And that's in what she can do, herself, and be independent, which is huge for her. But then we've got to know that it's doing things inside that's helping all of that happen. And I was careful. I wasn't going to say anything about this because I know we're not making any medical claims. But I just pulled into our property, and my mother-in-law lives by us, and then my daughter and her family, I have a house here, as well as my sister and her husband. But one of the little girls is almost 8, and she has autism. And so her mom's an RN, so we're on top of everything. She goes to a special school, but she started taking the lion's mane. That's the one I've given her. And they said, now she's wearing shoes to school, and she hasn't worn shoes in probably a year, and now she will put shoes on. So again, she's a little girl that is super smart. She's been able to read since she was about 4, and she, the sensor, it's doing something with her sensory processing, and she will wear her shoes now. And she takes another medication that she hates, and so she loves these gummies so much, they stick that medication in the gummy, and she takes it together, and so that's helping there too. But if you're 88 and you can't see very well, or if you're almost 8 and you have some real sensory processing and you're getting results, I'm pretty sure we can tell everybody this stuff works. So
Well done.
we're very
Thanks
happy.
for sharing.
Mhm.
Dr. Stu, how powerful when you hear those types of testimonials, man? That's got to feel
Absolutely
good,
love
right?
it. It's just fantastic, really, to hear the stories out in the field, and to know you're trying to, help people do something special and make a difference in people's quality of life. Couldn't ask for anything better. So I'm really, really thrilled to hear your feedback. That's why I always love going to the events, just to hear people's stories, good, bad, and whatever. And certainly is what drives us. Try to improve. Okay, how can we get this, make this better? What else do we need to do, et cetera? So again, thank you so much for being able to share.
Love you, Donna. Thanks for sharing. Miss Ina, would you like to share with us, please?
Are you there?
We can hear you.
Hey,
Hey,
how are you this morning?
better now that you and Donna are with us.
I know. Us Texas girls, man, we'll keep you straight.
Love it. What positive testimonials do you have for us with our milk, Ina?
Well, I've been taking the Stellamar, which has helped with my vertigo and my sciatic nerve. Well, I ran out of my Stellamar and my new order hadn't come in yet. And after wearing my Western boots for 2 days, in the beginning of the fall season, and hadn't worn them since last fall and winter, I put myself in a little bit of pain, and my sciatic nerve just really flared up, and I was hurting so bad. Dawn and I were talking on the phone, and she said, well, we've got our melts. I'll have Keith bring you some. So he, bless his heart, he drove over here. He brought me some. And I mean, I was to the point where when I'd go to get up out of my chair, I was dragging my left foot a little bit, quite a bit. And so Keith brought me that, and I took one, and I think probably within an hour, I had gotten up and walked into the kitchen and realized I wasn't dragging my foot anymore. I was walking almost normally again. That stuff was amazing, and I haven't had a problem since. So I've been on it. I love it. I've got so many people that I want to share this with, because Dr. Stu, thank you so much for.
Well, thrilled to hear your story, and I'm really glad that you were able to have a nice bit of experience with our products. There's some very nice anti-inflammatory, antioxidant type capabilities within the mushrooms themselves. Mushrooms will generally have this just naturally as part of the long chain, what you might call complex polysaccharides, and the anti-inflammatory benefits can really help take down a lot of pain issues that people have been suffering with. And I'm glad you've had such a wonderful experience with our products. It's just great to hear.
Well, thank you so much. Thank you very much.
I always appreciate you, Sharon. Love having you with us. One more. Kim, are you able to join us from your iPhone? Kim's iPhone number 2. Are you there, Kim? Okay. Do we have anybody else that has another testimonial to share before we wrap things up? Mr. Buck. Let's bring in Mr. Buck. Gotta love this guy.
Can you hear me?
Oh, hey, Kim, how are you? We can hear you.
I'm great. How are you?
Awesome. What can you share with us?
Okay, I went and talked to doctor, and I had asked him about, taking these with diabetic medicine. He said, yeah, you're fine. Well, in the mornings when I wake up, my blood sugar was still around 203. This morning I woke up 101.26.
Yay.
I feel like a whole new person. I haven't been napping. It's helped with my neuropathy even better than the other Stellamar. I can't thank you enough for all the things you've done and that you've created. and that I'm able to share with other people. I just want the world to know and to listen. And I thank you so much.
Thank
It's really
you
nice
for
to hear
sharing with
your
us.
testimony. Thank you for sharing. There are some very interesting blood sugar regulatory benefits. It tends to bring things back into a state of balance, what in medicine we might call homeostasis. And that's just right where you want to be. And I'm thrilled to hear that your blood sugar in the morning is down at the more normal range. And certainly we couldn't ask for more with a wonderful testimony such as that. Thank you so much for sharing. And certainly this will make my day, and see if we can even improve on our formulation somehow, maybe have a specialty product just specifically for blood sugar regulation at some point.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Yeah, so powerful, guys. I mean, that's what it's all about. I mean, love this. Okay, one more. Thomas Buck. Come on in, brother. Share with us.
Good morning, winners. Just wanted to give a shout out to the products. I will tell you, since my wife and I both being on the gummies, our energy, our thought processes, everything that goes to making our body work normal has just been exploded. We're in the middle of a move. We have to be out of our current home by the 1st. We're moving into something better, and we can focus on Nélo. But having said that, then we're yard sailing Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Then we're having Mr. Randy come to our house Saturday for a presentation. And all of this is possible through the products. But I want to say something about the Stellamar as well as putting them together. For years, I'm talking 5, almost 10 years, I've been on prescription medicine for GERD, for acid reflux, and for a hiatal hernia. I am not claiming that Stellamar or the gummies have healed or claimed, or they're not a cure for anything. All I'm stating is a coincidence I've noticed. Since being on Stellamar, I am no longer on that prescription drug, and there was only one that would work. And every 2 to 3 years, they would take me off, make me try everything on the market, over the counter, every other prescription. And I literally would have 2 to 3 months of absolute hell, waking up, choking on acid, trying to catch my breath, etc. Since being on Stellamar, I am off. I have no issues with GERD, acid reflux, or anything. And now adding in the gummies, I got to tell you, I feel like a whole new man. My body's regular. All the functions are working normal. And I got to be honest with you, I got energy, excitement, and hope for the future. So thank you, Nelo Life.
Thomas, thank you for sharing, brother. So inspiring. Congratulations on your latest rank up as well. We appreciate you so much. Well, Dr. Stu, I'll tell you what, man, I mean, take away the economic opportunity, just hearing stories like that. I know for me as an owner, for you as the formulator, I mean, it really kind of trumps and transcends any monetary value just when you hear those few testimonials, doesn't it?
Oh, it's fantastic. My gosh. I mean, you can have all the material wealth in the world, but boy, that good feeling in your heart, which I've just experienced over the past 5 or 10 minutes. Wow, that's just so powerful. You can't ever replace that. It's just wonderful to hear people, seeing improvements in their health and wellness. And certainly Mr. Buck is wonderful testimony here. I know it's a stressful time when you're involved with moving and the rest, and to be able to, feel good that you're able to overcome some of the challenges with that, and that your life's in good shape and order. Couldn't be happier to hear all the stories that we heard this morning.
Love it. All right, friends, I'll tell you what, you've still got 5 days left to benefit from the double CV and the melt bundles that we have available. If that puts you in a financial strain, we're never going to be the company to put undue burden on you. We would at least ask, go in and buy a pack, try the lion's mane, or try the cordyceps, or try the combo gummies for yourself. Those of you getting the bundles obviously are able to deploy those with your tastings and your anti-aging pro-cognition get-togethers. And people can leave right there with a pack. You can resell those, whatever is best for your situation. But let's make the most of these next 5 days. Dr. Stuart, we're incredibly blessed to have you, brother, and can't wait to have you attend more events and maybe a few life trips as well.
Well, certainly, thank you so much for the opportunity. It's been great to be with everybody. Looking forward to March in Orlando. I think that's going to be a phenomenal event, and we'll look forward to continuing our work and hopefully provide a few more products that may make some difference for people's overall levels of health and wellness.
Right. For those of you going in to get your bundles or buy a pack, please commit to getting your official launch discount ticket. You have 5 more days to get those for $150. Then they go up to $179. It's going to be epic. Dr. Stuart's going to get some stage time and have some meet and greet sessions with him there. It's going to be awesome. Otherwise, let's make the most of each and every hour of each and every day this week, friends. Get out, share the love of Nelo Life. Our movement has begun and it's really getting into an unstoppable fashion. Make sure you're a big part of the success that we are experiencing. Dr. Stu, have a great day. Nelo Nation, God bless you. Bye-bye.
Thanks so much, Eric. Appreciate it. All right, everybody.
Great job, buddy.